This is Mark from the ATV guys, beardless. And this is stay-at-home content, but I cheated a little bit today because the dealer where I'm at today is right beside my place and I know the owner. And I am practicing social distancing. But I had to finish this because we actually started taping this while there was still snow around because of the COVID situation. Well, I couldn't just go out and film the rest. So right now I'm actually allowed to do so. Why am I so excited? Yeah, I finally get out of the house. But one reason is I finally got my hands on something that's been around for a while, but that's all new under the plastics, under the body. And let me show you. Yep, it's an Arctic Cat. An Arctic Cat is back. They used to be called Textron. Textron still owns them. There's nothing that's changed, but they brought back the name. And this is the Alterra TRV 700, and it's a 2020 model that just that got in around January, but I couldn't get my hands on it. Why try this? Because it's all new, and there's one feature, well, a couple of features, but one that sticks out is the transmission and the primary drive system. I've never sampled this on an Arctic Cat machine. It's simply perfect. Am I actually saying this from an Arctic Cat? Well, hell yeah, I am. And let me show you why exactly. I'll get on this thing. First of all, it's the same body, but there's been some modification, especially on the comfort side, on the seat and everything. This is not the unit I tested. It's the same color, but this is a brand new unit. But check this out. Listen to this. It's a very quiet engine. Okay, it's quiet. Let's put it. And check this out. Okay, I have my foot on the brake. I'm applying the brake. And check this out, 2-finger. Right down to low gear. 1 finger. I'll do it again. Just make it go a little bit in reverse, and then in front, and then to low gear. Have you ever seen this? Engagement is near perfect. Wow. Fit and finish. For once, all the panels actually line up on this thing. It doesn't look cheap. That's one thing that's very important for me. If you're gonna spend like 10, 12, 13 grand on a machine, why are you gonna make it cheap? Well, this one doesn't look cheap. That little engine, it's a 700cc single cylinder. It's not like really powerful. And the way I'd want it on a 2-up machine if I'm going to be touring, for you guys that do trail riding or long trail riding with the missus and the back, the missus is going to enjoy this seat. Let's turn this off. The seat is absolutely flawless. I love it. It's nice. It's plush. It's very comfortable, and support in the back is high enough to absorb all the bumps and stuff, instead of certain brands that the seat is much lower around here. But this, it's padded pretty hard, but at the bottom here, you really got to sit on it to understand how much different it is from the previous TRVs. One thing I don't like about it, and I always say this, but I hate the reason why they put such cheap rubber on these things. These things are absolutely horrible, especially in snow. They're not good. It's just basic stuff, but you can probably negotiate with your dealer to get some decent rubber. Go for anything radial. This is what's going to make a big difference. And talking about difference, also the suspension, it's still got very good ground clearance. It's close to 11 inches. Right now it's on uneven ground, but there's a lot of ground clearance on this sucker. And the ride is much more plush than what it used to be. It was a little bit stiff. The last one I tried was 2016, I think, and it was very stiff. Now it's not stiff anymore. And I like the way it handles, especially on hard pack and stuff like that. We had it in snow, a lot of snow, but something I don't like particularly about Arctic Cat is their retail pricing and the actual selling price in dealers is sometimes they always have some kind of program, so as you see it now. So compared to others in the two-seat, in the two-seat business, it's actually quite a deal. One thing, the electronic power steering system, the EPS, is very, very good on it, and it's speed sensitive. They modified that too on the tuning. It's not tuned the same way, so it's not overly assisted at speed. So I like it a lot. And aren't those racks just gorgeous? You know, there's something solid under it. So, and it's got this anti-slip thing. So when you're putting something and you're tying it down, it's not going to be slipping all over the place. Same treatment on the back. But seriously, this is, in my view, one of the best now. And I'm seeing this about an Arctic Cat product. But in entry level, these guys, they're doing it. But this one, what surprises me is the way it handles. It's plush, it's precise. The clutching, oh my God, finally. They did some honest to goodness work on this thing. Like, I was starting to lose faith a little bit in Arctic Cat with the Textron buyout. I had a lot of expectation when Textron bought it out. And I don't know. This thing, it's doing it for me. I like to drive it. I like high-powered machines like twin cylinders, like the Can-Ams and Polaris and all this stuff. But if you're just putting around, like, when you don't need all that power and you want to save a few bucks, because we'll be serious, twin cylinder like 800cc class machine is gonna run you between 13 and 16, even 17 grand, depending on the option package. Like, this thing is 9,800 bucks. That's the price it is advertised here at this dealer. So I don't know. The best suggestion I can give you is go try one for yourself. Lots of dealers are giving demo rides. The only thing I want to bring is what it is exactly. You know, I tried it. I'm a mechanic by trade, and I'm loving this thing. It's very, very good. One thing I don't particularly like is the brakes. They feel a little bit wooden. They work. They do the job and stuff. It's not much, but there's no good feel at the lever. You really got to press down hard to get something going, and the brakes are not linked on this unit like a Can-Am or a Polaris. So if you want to have really good braking, see on this side there's no brake caliper, and on the right hand side there is a brake caliper. So if you want a really good braking, use both brakes. Use the pedal brake and you use the hand brake, and then you get something that's really decent in braking power. It's like a motorcycle. Use both brakes and you get the best braking possible. And another thing I like about these is they've got some very decent storage space, easily accessible, and this thing's pretty deep. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, so you can see it here. So there's top storage space here, and there's a nice little cubby out back. So it's not very big though, but you can store like a few things in there. One thing, it looks watertight, but I wouldn't trust it too much. Oh, it's not really clipped in there. Haha.
A few minutes later.
So this goes
1 minute 37 seconds later.
I just found out the hard way.
Much later.
See, that's something I criticize in my French review, and I'm going to criticize it again in my English review.
Much later.
But this is just not right. Fix this, Arctic Cat, because that's about the only major flaw you got on that machine is that thing, which is actually cheap. Did I mention that this thing is nearly silent? You don't hear much whining, much droning from the transmission, gears, drive shafts. Mechanically, it's very, very quiet, and this is something I appreciate very much from this unit. Noise can be really annoying sometimes. There's some brands that you know, if you're putting along like 50-60 clicks an hour, you're going to hear some serious whining out of the gearbox, out of the front, the rear diff, and just all around noise. This thing is very, very quiet for its class. I wish for more power though. That 700, it's decent. It's missing a little bit on the top end. Top end grunt. Mid-range is decent. It's very good. It's in the class. But up top, the Japanese bike will just walk away from you. And if you're going against a V-twin or a parallel twin, well, then you're cooked. Now, I know that Textron bought a company that's called Weber Engines. And these guys, the Weber engines are already equipped in certain of their machines, like the Stampede, and I've sampled that engine in 800cc trim, and oh my God, those things were nice, powerful, and a very nice torque spread. So they've got room in this body. There is room, and I think when they designed the new Alterra body, they actually designed it, I think, and this is only off the top of my head, but I think that they designed this thing to be to have enough room to put another bigger engine in there. There is room. So I wouldn't be surprised that the next generation of Arctic Cat ATVs come out with the Weber parallel twin engine, and that would be just awesome. I can imagine that package with another extra 20, 30, 40 HP, and that would be like freaking awesome. But so, you know, this is pretty much my review. I'm just talking about the points I like, I don't like. This is what I think about the machine. So this is Mark from the ATV Guys, and thanks again for tuning in and watching the stuff I do. I appreciate it a lot. So mash like if you can. I'd appreciate it. Please do comment. Take a little bit of your time and talk to me what you would like, what you don't like, and what you're looking into. What information you want when I do a review. I don't like to give out specs. Specs, you can find it on the internet anytime you want. I mostly talk about what I think and the mechanical side of things. I'm a mechanic. I'm a professional mechanic. I'm not a journalist. I just happen to love ATVs. So that's pretty much it. So please subscribe if you can, and I'd appreciate it. And you know, don't be afraid to comment. I can take the bad ones and the good ones. I appreciate it. Thanks very much. This is Mark from the ATV Guys, and I'll see you in the trails.